The Leatherman Rev versus the Leatherman Skeletool. Which one's the better buy? Let's compare them. They both come with a pouch that you can wear on your belt if you don't want to just throw it in your pocket. Here is the Rev and the Skeletool. The reason for comparison here is I think these are similar in some ways, yet they're different in others. And if someone wants to buy their first Leatherman, they're looking to buy a nice quality multi-tool, these are two models that are going to be pretty common for people that want their first Leatherman. So we'll just go over and compare what is different about them and maybe which one makes more sense for the individual. The first significant thing is going to be weight, because the Skeletool is called the Skeletool because it's skeletonized. It's very basic and it's very lightweight as well. It comes in at 5.1 ounces. You can't see that, but the Rev is going to be a little bit heavier at 5.8 ounces. Really not much difference. So they are extremely similar as far as weight goes. They're very similar in size too, with the Skeletool actually being a little bit taller. And width is, pretty close as well. So if you're going for size, it doesn't make that big of a difference. Rev's a little bit heavier, but you wouldn't notice in hand. They feel pretty much exactly the same, only 0.7 ounces difference. But when we get to the tool set, that's where things change a little bit. Off the bat, I'll just say that the Skeletool feels like a more quality piece. There's just something about it. They feel fine, just holding it here. But when you open this one up, they click out and it just feels solid. Just feels like a really, really nice tool. Where the Rev, it's, not as refined. That's the word I'm looking for. The Rev just doesn't feel as refined as the Skeletool does. And the price does reflect that a little bit. And a good example would be the knife. So both of these multi-tools, you can access the knife while it's closed, which is a big thing for me. So the Skeletool is a locking blade with a liner lock. Very easy to use. And it's got this hole cut out so you can very easily use your thumb to open that. Partially serrated blade. Nice utility blade style. The hollow grind. It actually performs really well. Just has a really fine tip, so you'd have to be careful to not do anything stupid with that and end up breaking the tip off. Something that might sway you towards the Skeletool is there are higher quality options for blade steel, like 154 cm, and you can get a non-serrated blade too. Leatherman CX, for example, has the upgraded blade steel. The Rev, it doesn't really have a easy way to open it with a thumb. There is a little cutout here, but that's not really intended for the thumb because it's not really in a good spot for that. I think that's just made so you can easily pull it out. They both have the same blade steel, so they're both 420 HC. This one's hollow ground as well. A little bit different design, and this one has no serrations. Something about the quality, like I was saying. On the Skeletool, this blade is super solid. There is zero movement. Literally zero movement. Where the Rev, side to side, there's none, but up and down, you could probably hear that clicking. There's just the slightest amount of blade play back and forth. Like I said, it's just a little bit less refined than the Skeletool. Both are locking as well. That has the liner lock. Both have a pocket clip as well that you can put in your pocket if you don't want to use one of those. On the back of the Skeletool, you get a carabiner. You can clip the tool onto things, and that doubles as a bottle opener. This does have a bottle opener, though you do have to open the tool to get it. But let's open the tools and get to the pliers. Now, the design of the Skeletool is kind of weird how it comes all the way out here. It really makes it so you can only hold it one way, like this. Feels a little bit weird like that. Kind of is at an angle. The Rev, you can hold it both ways a lot easier. But we get to the pliers, and this is where the tools really differ because the Skeletool is more of a minimalist style tool. It fits more into the minimalist EDC crowd, where the Rev is just kind of general utility style. And you could see by the size of the pliers, the Rev is a bit longer, a bit bigger, a bit thicker all around. But you can also see the finish on the Skeletool, like I said, just more refined, where you can kind of see the casting line on the Rev. Plier wise, the Rev is larger with larger wire cutters. The wire cutters on both of these are non-replaceable as well. And the tip is just a little bit more precise on the Skeletool if you wanted something like that. Now, something about the Skeletool, like I said, it's a minimalist design. There's not a whole lot of tools on here. You had the knife, which I showed you already, the bottle opener, which was on the back. You have the pliers with the wire cutters, and then you have the screwdriver. And other than that, there's nothing else. But what it has little of, it does extremely well. So you have the screwdriver back here. You get these Leatherman flat style bits. This is a Phillips that has two sides, and stored in the handle you have your flat blade screwdriver, which is very easy to replace. Coming over to the Rev, and you do have screwdrivers as well, and you can use your finger to get them out. You have your Phillips and your flat blade, but they're built into the tool. You can't change out the bits. And as far as the quality, I just feel that the bits on the Skeletool are of a superior quality. They just feel a lot more durable. The screwdriver, it feels a little bit cheaper. The steel's a bit different. And obviously you can't change these out. You can change these out by multiple bit sets to change them into the Skeletool, into that holder there, which makes it really nice. Now, the one thing that I don't love about this is storing this in the handle. I have actually lost a bit before, and I think the handle just wasn't tight enough, so I had to kind of bend that down a little bit. I really wish the bits that came with it were a flat blade and a Phillips, because I have a Mutt that came with a dual bit like that, and this one you have to switch them out. So it'd be cool if they had the two sizes and just flat blade and Phillips. But that's pretty much it for the Skeletool tools. And then on the Rev, that side was your screwdrivers on the other side. So first off, you have a can opener, which doubles as a bottle opener. Is it necessary to have a can opener on a multi-tool? Maybe. If you're eating out of cans a lot, you could definitely find use for that. But it's not going to make a big difference, I think, when people are deciding. This little attachment here is a package opener, where you just put that down into the package and it rips the tape or whatever it may be. That's handy to have if you don't want to use your knife for everything. And what's missing from the Skeletool is a file. A lot of people want a file, and if you want a file on your multi-tool, this could be the deciding factor. And at the very tip, you have a very small flat blade screwdriver, which you can use. But other than that, that's pretty much the tools on the Rev compared to the Skeletool. You can just tell from this shot here that the Rev is a little bit more beefy compared to the Skeletool. And people sometimes make the mistake of using the Skeletool a little too hard and breaking them. I mean, people break multi-tools all the time, even the heavier duty Leathermans. At the end of the day, a multi-tool is a multi-tool. It's not going to do what a real set of pliers can do, so you have to know the limitations. But especially on the Skeletool, very, very light duty pliers. So don't make the mistake of doing something too much for them, and you could end up breaking it. But it's like I said, the Skeletool is more for the minimalist style EDC person, or even backpacker that wants to keep the weight down. And the Rev is more of that just general utility. You just want a nice multi-tool. It's got a few things on it, a little bit heavier duty pliers. In my opinion, I mean, they're both good. I think I prefer the Skeletool. Just like I said, it's just a little bit more refined. It just feels nicer. It feels like another step above the Rev in quality. It's hard to explain, but if you had them in your hands, that's just what they feel like. They just feel a lot more refined. But now the elephant in the room is the price. So what does the price look like on these? Well, the Skeletool's MSRP is about $75 as you see it here. And the Rev's MSRP is around $50. There's not much of a difference there. It's 50 to 75. It is 50% more expensive. And these are 2025 prices. Years ago, you could get the Skeletool for like 30 bucks, and this was like 15 or $20. Those days are long gone and they're not coming back. But you can usually find these on sale. So Costco sometimes has a collaboration with Leatherman where they sell their multi-tools. Like this one you could pick up for $40, even $30 when it was on clearance there. And the Skeletool combo I bought one time for $65 with another Leatherman knife that came with it, and they eventually lowered the price to like $50. Those are good prices. I don't know if I would want to spend $50 on the Rev. It just, I don't know, because at that point you can look at other multi-tools like the rebar from Leatherman. That's like 80 bucks, sometimes on sale for much less. And it's just a better tool than the Rev. The Rev is the economy level Leatherman. There's nothing wrong with that. It's still good. But once you start charging $50 and more, it seems like a lot. And the Skeletool's not cheap either. But like I said, it just feels a bit more refined. You just don't see the value as much in the rebar, though it is still a good tool. Well, that's the comparison between the Rev and the Skeletool. Let me know which one you would personally buy and which one you like better and for what reasons. Let me know in the comments below. Well, thanks for sticking around to the end. If you like these types of videos, consider subscribing, and I'll see you later.